Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for spending the time and joining our webinar today. Let's go digital. So I would like to thank you all for joining. And so this webinar right now, this afternoon, is jointly organized by the Fintech group and the Transaction Banking group of Union Bank. So what can you expect for this afternoon? We'll be showing and sharing our tips and tricks on how to tech up and digitize your and better manage your business operations amidst the new normal right now. So what you'll be seeing is we'll be showcasing the portal, which is a tool which will really help your businesses in terms of teching themselves up. After which we have a panel that who are really experts in terms of, on one side, you'll have experts from companies who have helped enable digitization. And on the other side, companies who have gone through digitization. So I'm pretty excited for that. And we're excited to share that for you. I won't delay this any further so we can start. I'd like to welcome Sir Mon Duarte, our Senior Vice President and Head of Transaction Banking and Platform Development, to share with us his opening remarks for this session. Sir Mon?
Hi there. Am I up? Yep. I can see myself. Yeah,
You
good
are?
afternoon, everybody, and welcome to everybody out there listening on today's webcast. So, yeah, thanks again to the FinTech Business Group and to the teammates, my fellow teammates at Transaction Banking for putting today's webinar together. And of course, I want to thank Mr. Galvez and Ms. Panopio for joining us today, valued customers of ours who will share their own experiences they've had with the portal. And of course, with our partner, Dick Chang from DragonPay. So thanks very much for joining this, and to the rest of the team who's organized and participating in the event today. So I'm here just to say a few words, to give some opening remarks and welcome remarks as we share with you a little bit about the portal. So in case it's not obvious, the portal is what we call our corporate banking online and mobile banking solution. All right, so this is the corporate version of what we call Union Bank Online. This is the system that's used by our corporates to go online, check their balances, initiate transactions, and do a whole other bunch of things. It's a relatively new system, and we're very glad and excited to be sharing this with all of you today. So judging by my rather white beard, you can tell I've been around for a little while, and I've been at Union Bank for pushing 2 decades now. And that's about the time we started back then. We started with introducing internet banking and mobile banking. And from day one, we always had a version for corporates, targeted at corporates of all sizes, right? We like to claim, because we believe we are properly the first ones in the country to offer internet banking, first bank in the country to offer internet banking. Another prominent local bank claims the same thing, but I think we rightfully own that claim and accomplishment. So we started in 1999. Even back then, we even had a very basic mobile banking version, but the relevant version would have been that was available over internet. The very first version of our internet banking system was actually in-house built. Back then, it was all very, very new, and the very basic services that were possible to be made available online was quite buildable, shall we say, in-house, and we did that. And that worked for us quite well, and we owned that space quite well. And we did that for quite some time. And that ran until about 2005, where we then, as we started to really digitize Union Bank and upgrade our systems, we then went to outsourcing. What I mean by that is we used commercial grade, industry grade banking systems and their web versions to deliver web banking services to our corporate customers and retail customers. And we did that for the better part of, well, actually more than a decade, right? We ran a very first tier, top tier web banking system. But in line with the digitization of the bank, of Union Bank, as you may have heard, we are very proud and we are very strong believers in the mission of digital transformation. When that came along in 2015 and 16, we realized that the web banking or internet banking, and by this time mobile banking, was such a key component of a bank's customer experience that it had to be our own. So a lot of people may not know this, but actually our internet banking for consumer and as well as the portal, which you will be seeing more about today, is actually built in-house. We built this internally. Of course, we have our own dev capabilities, and we a lot of service providers can give us the dev support. But the design, the infrastructure is 100%, and the IP is 100% Union Bank owned. And because of that, we're able to deliver lots of innovations. This is really part of the digital transformation story. And the tools for doing this is about being very agile, right? So we have moved in the bank to an agile way of doing business. In the way we conceptualize products and services, it's an agile approach. We adopted the Scrum methodology for the product development, as well as IT systems. So these are all the popular tools that you might be hearing now around agility and design thinking, agile development. And more recently, we're starting to push some of the some of the later approaches for development and tech delivery of DevSecOps and continuous integration and continuous development, right? And all of these blurbs, all of these terms, really, what does it make for? We believe it makes for a solution that is truly responsive and truly fit for our customers. Having spent these 2 decades really servicing customers through the electronic channel, we think we have a very good sense of what customers need. We have lots of customers who gives us very good feedback, and we felt that we were in a better position to build that customer experience ourselves for the customers that we know. And we've over the years, this last 5-6 years, we've built an incredible capability that made the portal possible, right? And as well as we're able to do it quite cost effectively, right? It takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of planning, but we're very proud of what we've achieved so far. If for some of you who may not tried out the portal yet, I think if you do get a chance to try it, you'll see that it's quite comprehensive. We have a lot of services built in there, the obvious capabilities of account inquiry and initiating transactions. It's very sophisticated, but it's also very simple to use. And we provide a very consistent service experience, whether you're using the mobile version or the web version of the app, right? We have introduced we've introduced on an ongoing basis many innovations. I think one of our newest ones there is our mobile check deposit. This is a facility that lets you deposit checks using your mobile phone without actually having to present the check at the bank. These are just one example of the many and continuous innovations and new features we're building to the product. And again, this goes back to building this ability to constantly deploy new systems, new features, new capabilities into our platform by having that brought all in-house. I think very soon, even this week, you're going to see a couple more new features as we incorporate some of the other services of the bank that are currently outside the portal. We're bringing them into the portal. Our whole vision is to have a single experience, a single point of entry and transaction touch points for our customers. And you're going to be hearing a lot of that going forward. We're also not forgetting about the fact that there are different kinds of customers. I think very soon we're going to be introducing an SME version of the portal, and it will be something more suited for that segment. Again, it's about being able to build the appropriate solution for the customer, and about co-creating those solutions. And we do that by working very closely with our customers. So we come up with the most relevant solution. And more things are coming up in August, but I'll leave that for you to experience once you join us on the portal. All right. Difficult to have a webinar or any kind of address without addressing the situation and the crisis situation that we all find ourselves today. But in this context, there's this saying that the luck that luck favors the prepared, right? So what does that mean in this sense? And for that, this means that we built this capability for such a sophisticated system, and it just happened to be the product everybody needed at this time. Not just mainly because it fills a real need to address many of the issues that we all are experiencing related to the pandemic, and I'm talking about the need to to low touch, contactless interactions and transactions. As much as we need to stay home, and we've been through lockdown, business needs to continue, and payments is such a basic component of that. So that's where we have really seen the use case of portal take off. The numbers are just astronomical in terms of the growth rates. Of course, a lot of this has got to do because of the lockdown, and also that, like many other banks, we are also waiving our transaction fees for both InstaPay and PesoNet funds transfers to other banks, right? We have also not just been getting customers, in fact, using signing up, UnionBank customers signing up for the portal, but we're getting new to bank, as we call them, customers that don't have an existing relationship with UnionBank, and they've come to join us as they've seen how the portal can be a big way to address a lot of the challenges brought about by the pandemic, particularly in those areas of conducting payments, etc. The fact of the matter is that, even while the pandemic goes through its cycles, and hopefully that we will see a resolution to this in terms of a decline in the incidents, of course, and hopefully we can all move towards, something that looks like normality, right? We do know that there is a new normal, and we feel it's all going to be moving to digital. And I think you all are probably thinking about that yourselves if you're not already on that digital transformation journey. So like I said, it just so happens that, we have the solution we think that meets our customers' needs. And we're just happy that at least in one way, this can help towards a transformation that addresses the issues around the pandemic, right? And you can be sure that we will continue to do that going forward. And we think we're able to do that because we believe we do have the best corporate online banking system available today. So that's really what I wanted to say. Again, thank you for joining us on the webinar, and I hope you find the presentation, the demos, as well as the panel discussions today. And in fact, I'm sure you will find them very interesting. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sir Mon, for that very detailed description of what to expect for the portal. It really, actually, I'm really pumped to see now a demo of it. And for everyone who's attending, we're looking forward to be able to demo it, to see how it fits your current needs and your current processes. So at any point during the demo or the panel discussion later, you would have questions. There's a button below, the Q&A button, where you can press and type in your question, and we'll be sure to address them later during the Q&A session in the panel. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Leah Cabales, who is the product manager of the portal, to give us a detailed demo and a run-through of everything that it can do and how it would work for everyone here present right now. So Leah, if you're ready, please take the stage.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for the intro. So I'll just show a small video at the start of the presentation to get you pumped up. Yeah, so that's the portal. I'm sure you're very excited to see what's more. So, so Union Bank has always found an importance in digitizing traditional systems. So as Sir Mon mentioned before, the bank has always prioritized its relentless mission to provide safe, secure, and convenient banking experience for Filipinos. So recently, in an online survey conducted last April 2020 by the Bank Consumer Survey on Retail Banks, Union Bank ranked as the second most helpful bank in Asia Pacific during the coronavirus crisis. So we're the only Philippine bank making it to the top 20 list. So for today's session, I'll be sharing the bank solution to help you manage your business effectively in the new normal. So for some of the audience who might already be familiar with Union Bank's cash management services, they might remember these old systems, so corporate e-banking, OneHub, eGobierno, etc. So the bank previously had separate systems for each product, which required separate logins. So some of our clients who availed of multiple products found this a hassle because they had to learn different interfaces and remember different credentials. So to address this single need of a single comprehensive platform with a superior user experience, Union Bank launched the portal. So it's the newest platform that brings together all of Union Bank's award-winning cash management solutions into a single platform and more. So for this afternoon, I'll be showing you what you can do in the portal and how easy it is to use and navigate. So starting with the login, when you go to our website, business.unionbankph.com, first thing you have to enter is your credentials. So once we have validated your email address and your password that you have entered, it will go to the OTP page. So this multi-factor authentication feature actually provides our clients additional security against fraudsters. So in case you didn't receive the OTP sent, you may use the resend code button below. So once you click submit and the OTP entered is correct, you will be led to the main dashboard of the portal. So for the first-time users, we actually have inbuilt tutorials that will walk you through the system. So it will show you what each button does, what each module does, and how to do certain things like viewing balances, approving transactions, or doing fund transfers. So this tutorial feature can actually be reactivated at any page by clicking on the question mark found at the top right. So the first feature allows you to stay updated on all banking activities and account balances. So with the portal's account management, you'll be able to view your account balances and download transaction history in convenient formats. So on the left side, you'll see the accounts module. Once you click on it, the accounts enrolled in your organization will appear, showing you the account name, account number, and the balances. So in case you want to see the transactions of a certain account, you can click on it and it will reveal the last 10 transactions. So it's actually an infinite scroll. So in case you want to see more transactions, you can scroll down and it will reveal more transactions as needed. Lastly, we have this export file button here on the right, and it will let you download the transaction history in two convenient formats. So first is the Excel file. It gives you more details in a format fit for reconciliation. But in case a third party requires you to submit bank-generated unedited statements, we have the PDF as well. So you can select and filter the dates according to your need. And once you're done, you can click on Export File, and the file will appear in your file manager. So you can check on every few minutes by clicking on the refresh button here. And then once the status has changed for ready for download, you can then export your file for local consumption. Okay, so one of the main features of Portal is actually your fund transfers tab. So this is one of the most used features of the portal during this pandemic. So this allows clients to do real-time transfers within UnionBank and to other banks. So for local peso transfers, we have PesoNet and InstaPay. And for USD transfers, we have PDDTS and SWIFT. So this module also allows our clients to transfer via a file upload for batch transfers, so that transferring to several beneficiaries at a time can be done with a maximum convenience. So since the start of the quarantine period, as shared by Sir Mon, UnionBank boosted the portal to enable clients to safely do their banking transactions from home. So that's why until the end of the year, UnionBank is waiving its PesoNet and InstaPay service fees to allow businesses to pay their suppliers and employees through the portal. So to facilitate transfers on the portal, the clients can click on the fund transfer on the left side module. So once they click on new transaction, under this, you'll be able to see the different channels available. So for transfers to UnionBank accounts, this is facilitated real time and without a charge. For local peso transfers, we have PesoNet. So this is for sending peso to other local banks without a limit, but with a cutoff of 12:30 p.m. As for InstaPay, this is a real-time peso transfer capped at 50,000, but it's real-time processed. And for dollar transfers, we have PDDTS and SWIFT. PDDTS for local banks and SWIFT for international banks. So if you are facilitating hundreds or thousands of transactions, it may be a hassle for you to create single transfers every time. So this makes the multiple transactions file upload feature perfect for your need. So with this, you can initiate batch transfers for PesoNet and UnionBank transfers. So in the website, there are available downloadable guides and converters and sample files to aid you in first batch transfer. You don't need to call our customer support. You'll be able to use this on your own. So once you've selected the channel that you wish to use, so for example, I'll do a PesoNet transfer for this demo. You just have to fill in the form requiring several details of the transfer. So this includes beneficiary details, amounts, purpose, and remarks. So for the transfer date, clients may also choose to do scheduled and recurring transfers. So this allows you to set and manage your transfers in advance. So once you're done filling it up, just click on submit and the transaction will get processed. So as a security feature, we also require OTP when making transactions. So once it's been submitted, there, the transfer has been sent to your beneficiary bank. So just in case your company requires approval setups before a transaction gets processed, the system will alert the next approver via email and push notification. So like this one visible on the screen, it shows pending approval. So once the transaction is fully approved, only then will it become processed. So as you can see in the approval matrix, it shows 2 required approvers. So only one has approved it. That's why it's still waiting for the second and final approval before processing to be secure. Okay, so the portal also boasts the largest list of billers across corporate banking platforms in the Philippines. So in the platform, you can settle your government payments and pay to a wide selection of billers covering electricity, water utilities, telecommunications, real estate, etc. So you can click on the bills payment module on the left, and then you'll be able to see all your previous transactions. So click on new payment to pay a new bill. So you will first have to select whether you're paying a normal utility biller or a government biller. So as of now, as you can see, we only have BIR e-payments available on the portal. But soon you'll be able to settle your BIR EFPS, SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, Bureau of Custom Payments here as well. So these are some of the features that we're working on as well. So clicking on the bills payment will allow you to make payments to billers like Meralco, Maynilad, etc. So in the form, you'll first have to select or search for the biller that you want to pay. So in my demo, I'll pay Globe. So you just have to enter the references like the account number, the telephone number, the items that you maintain with the biller. And then fill in the rest of the form, the amount, and the remarks. So once you're done, you can submit the transaction and it will be processed once it's fully approved. So it's very similar to the fund transfer demo earlier. So in this case, my company is set up as auto approval since this is my own access. So the payment will be credited to the biller after I submit this. So the posting of the payment actually reflects on the biller's end once they've reconciled the collection reports. So with business clients being always on the go, the platform's flexibility to access the portal on their mobile phones is very necessary. So the portal makes all these available features that I discussed earlier within an arm's reach for business users through our fully featured mobile app. So this app is available in Google Play Store and Apple Store. And almost everything that you can do on the website, you can also do on this mobile app. So you can make transactions, view your balances, switch organizations, etc. So actually this feature is one of the most loved features of our approvers because it lets them authorize on the go anytime and anywhere. So as shared by Sir Mon, we recently launched this feature. So we have the first ever mobile check deposit for businesses and corporates. So this allows you to capture images of your local checks below 500,000 and deposit them without going to the branch. So you will just need to take a picture of the check and submit the details for clearing. And the portal will then send you updates whether the check has already cleared. Next, the portal does not compromise on client customization. So one vital point that we addressed when we made the system is that setting up even the most complex of approval matrices should be possible. So we built the system to be very flexible and easy to set up. So this allows you to customize your approval setup to match your business requirements. So authorizers can be specified on a per limit basis, per channel, or even per account. So for access rights, it can also be customized in such a way that a user can be a CEO in one company and then possibly a view-only user in another subsidiary. So the approval matrix here on the dashboard, this matrix allows the maker to track the fulfillment of their required setup. So like this one visible on the screen, as you can see, it shows pending approval. So as you can see in the approval matrix, the transfer has already passed the first level of approvers and is now requiring the final set of approvers. So this functionality ensures that all transactions are fully authorized before it's processed. So for clients managing several businesses, maintaining separate credentials for each one is a hassle. So with the portal's single login feature, it allows clients to enroll their companies and subsidiaries and easily switch between organizations without needing to log in. So once logged in, you can just click on the company name above, click on Lea Caballes 2, and then it will reveal all the organizations I'm enrolled to. So to switch to another organization, you just have to click on another company name from the list. So when I click on Miguel Dance Corporation, I'm automatically switched to that organization's accounts, transfers, and other details. So on the switch org, we also display badge counts beside each company name to alert approvers to let them know that there are transactions pending for their action for each organization. So in this case, I have 5 transfers for approval in Lea Caballes Company and 1 transfer for Ian Alexander Company. So this makes managing separate companies very easy. So with the remote banking feature, clients can also schedule their deposits and withdrawals at the ARC in advance. So this feature saves our clients valuable queuing time and boosts the efficiency of transacting at the branch. So you won't have to experience lining up for hours for just a single deposit transaction. So this is one of the pain points most of our clients get for other banks. So we have solved that for the portal. And for those interested in moving their payroll to UnionBank, you may open your employees' payroll accounts using the batch account opening tool. So with this, you can open hundreds of bank accounts on behalf of your employees using the website. So all the employee details should just be uploaded using a batch file, and then it's sent via the portal to facilitate the account opening. So these accounts open can be used for crediting salaries, and at the same time, your employees can use this as a regular savings account. And lastly, but most importantly, the portal puts security in the forefront. So this is why people deal with banks in the first place. So aside from a fully secured monitoring of every device and login, clients are also given the option to choose how they log into the system. So we have biometric authentication, SMS OTPs, time-based OTPs. So the client can choose the security method that best meets their business without a compromise on usability. So with all those amazing features, I'm sure you're all excited to avail of the portal. So if you already have a UnionBank account, you can enroll by scanning the QR on the screen or entering the URL displayed. So you can visit us at portal.unionbankph.com/enrollment. So this digital enrollment process only takes about 10 minutes. You just have to enter your company details, the users you want to enroll, approval setup, and the online form. And then you have to print and sign the form. And then lastly, upload it in the confirmation page. So once we have verified your enrollment details and the signatories, you will then receive a link via your email informing you of the successful enrollment to the portal. So that's it, everyone. Happy banking.
Thanks, Leia, for that awesome demo and very detailed. So I'm hoping for everyone that you found that very useful and you can already start thinking on how these features can best help you in each of your own businesses. With that, actually, I would love to move now to the panel discussion. And I'm excited to really introduce each of our panelists today because each of them has an expertise and at the same time, their experiences in terms of helping people tech up and digitize themselves, at the same time, teching themselves up or leading companies or processes that have adapted to how things are currently working right now. So with that, the first panelist that I would like to introduce is a very good partner of UnionBank, Dick Chang. So he is the founder, CEO, CTO of DragonPay. So I think some of you might know about DragonPay already, but perhaps later we can learn more or listen more to what Dick would be saying. Hi, Dick. Next would be so one of our clients, Miss Rosel Panopia from NYK Philippines. So she's the senior chief accountant for NYK and we'd love to hear her perspective a little bit later. And another one from our clients would be Louis Galvez. Hi, Louis. So he is the CEO of Galruff Realty Corporation and a board member of Assessment Analytics, which is an HR company. And he is running his company all the way from Batangas. So I don't know if that really speaks a lot on how they've been able to adapt to this change when he's able to run a company from not in the city itself. And I'd like to welcome Leia back to the floor to be a part of also of our panelists. So welcome everyone and thank you for the time this afternoon. I know you all are very busy running your own products or companies, but thank you for the time. So I'd like to start things off so we have some questions actually already, but I'd like to ask the first one and I'd like to direct it actually to Dick because I mean, I'm part of the Fintech group and we partner with DragonPay a lot. So I know they're pretty busy going around actually with the new normal, with the things have changed. A lot of people are now getting their service. So he's probably the best person to ask is for his perspective on what challenges have companies been facing that you have seen with your clients these days, and amidst the new normal. So what are the main challenges? What are the things that you think that they could improve on or adapt to the change?
Well, I think since the quarantine started mid-March, we've really seen a significant change in the way businesses are conducted. For businesses such as restaurants, for example, wherein they rely on physical presence, I guess they have been the worst hit. But the funny thing is, during this entire quarantine period, from the extended quarantine to the general quarantine right now, we've actually seen a steady, maybe not even a word steady, but a very, very strong growth when it comes to e-commerce. So transactions have been increasing month to month. And for the last 3 months, we've actually been breaking our records in terms of number of transactions. So it seems that a lot of people have adjusted to the new normal. And a lot of companies also during this quarantine period have done a significant change in the way they sell their products. Even restaurants specifically, they had to switch to a delivery model or a pickup model. But I wouldn't say that there has been a reduction in terms of e-commerce activity. In fact, the quarantine has been in favor of e-commerce. And the companies that we have seen range from the large manufacturers to some even multinational conglomerates, right down to the really small mom and pop neighborhood Shopify stores. So I think the transition is not limited to specific types of customers. Rather, it's really more for forward-thinking business owners and process users to adapt to this new normal. And the opportunity is really there. As I mentioned, the growth has never been better in the last 2 to 3 months from the way we're seeing things.
So it's pretty broad. I mean, so everyone has to adapt, and you have to be forward thinking to it. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that they need to start with. Where do they start, do you think? What's the best place to start, and where should they look in terms of how they do things?
Well, most of the companies that we've seen during this quarantine period, they are mostly on the B2C model. So these are companies selling direct to consumers. So specifically, for example, those selling food. Since people cannot go to their restaurants anymore, to their groceries, they're bringing the food to the homes. So a lot of these people, they go online. Of course, the next question is, how do you accept payments? So that's where we have been helping them quite a bit. So DragonPay has been providing all sorts of payment options for these online merchants. And we're happy to say that UnionBank has been one of the surprise hits for me, at least for when it comes to online banking. If you compare it to the big three, well, we know who the big three banks are in the country in terms of number of users. But I think what I find quite surprising is, even though relatively speaking, the account holder base of UnionBank would be smaller compared to the big three, but when it comes to online transactions, I think the demographic is really more in favor of the UnionBank account holder. So we're seeing a disproportionately more number of UnionBank online payments compared to other banks relative to the account holder base.
Wow. I don't know what to say, but yeah, I think there's truth there, especially going back to how Sir Mon and Leia were describing the portal, in terms of the ones who are using the product are the ones who are more inclined to do things, who are more forward thinkers, I would say. Leia, to coincide with that, how have you seen the portal in terms of what Dick mentioned, in terms of transactions? How has it helped? What changed during this new normal stage, or this stage during the lockdown and now at general quarantine?
Yeah, I agree with Sir Dick. So the recent COVID-19 crisis actually accelerated the digital transformation, especially for banking. So just to give more perspective, during the ECQ, Union Bank digital transactions actually surged 80% year on year for March year to date. So it's that big. So in fact, for the portal, we achieved an all-time high for InstaPay portal transactions. So the number of transactions processed last April 2020 during ECQ alone has surpassed the total number of transactions processed on the portal since inception. So that's 1 month versus 11 months worth of transactions. So that's how big the shift was for cash or check payments to digital payments. So one of the main struggles that we found was convincing the traditional businesses, because they're so used to physical payment methods. For them, cash was king and the payments were heavily driven by checks. So given the lockdown, they had no choice but to shift to online methods. So businesses had to switch to contactless digital banking, and that's where we stepped in, where Portal stepped in. So by providing our clients a safe, secure, and convenient platform where they can safely disburse to their employees, do their reconciliation, we believe that even after the ECQ, they'll continue digital banking because they've already experienced how convenient it is.
That's great to hear. Actually, I've been seeing a lot of our customers actually would use DragonPay to collect payments and transactions. And then once they get it, they'll now use the portal to pay off their employees, their suppliers. So it's a pretty neat ecosystem and cycle that's going on around. Actually, now I would like to hear on the client side, Louis. So with the changes happening, what tools have you been starting to use in order to prepare for this change, and how have you incorporated into your business? I think we lost Russell for a bit there, so I think Louis, you can start. I think
in my case, I think you already said that I'm here in Batangas. So the very first problem will really be how I can sign the checks, no? And that to me was part of what I was already trying to see what I can do. When I decided to do my lockdown here in Batangas, I started to activate certain things which I thought would help me to be able to run things even from here. And I'm very fortunate that I got to try the portal of UnionBank. I've been a user of, how did Dick say it, the big three. So I've been a user of the big three, but I always had difficulty. The biggest difficulty I had really was I had to, for one, I had to have several credentials as an authorizer, as a maker. No? So how has it been able to change the way I do things? Well, now I'm here. I can get my money flowing. I am able to make tremendous use of the file upload. Just about 2 days ago, there were quite a number of interbank transfers we had to do. And so I utilized the file upload of UnionBank, and we were able to do it quickly. The advantage that we have is that most of our information is already online. So it was really more a question of extracting our data, preparing it to the format needed by UnionBank, and we were able to upload a lot of our interbank transfers, which would have taken a long time. And worse still is that it could have caused a lot of mistakes.
how has the change? I mean, in terms of you were able to upload those files ahead of time. I'm pretty sure your internal stakeholders or your customers had to change to it, had to adapt to it, I would say. How were you able to push that, and what were their reactions to it when you were doing that change?
Well, I guess what helped was that, first of all, I did a survey. I used a new thing that I also discovered, SMS Blast. I know a lot of companies use that already. But this is what has been happening with the new normal. We have been discovering a lot of tools that have been there for so long, which is helping us to be more efficient. So we sent out an SMS blast, and we asked them to fill out a survey. And we were surprised to hear that a lot of them actually prefer to go digital. Some of the things that we used to do before, like sending the statement of accounts and all, we used to have it delivered. Now we're also doing it digitally. And so we were able to somehow prepare them with the way that we're also adopting in terms of our payments. That is, again, something that we are slowly learning ourselves, which we are also slowly passing on to our clients. And I'm seeing that a lot of them are happy because it allows us to transact with them in a much quicker way, with less potential errors. And so it's a win-win situation. Everybody's happy.
In terms of payments, you said you were happy. So, Dick, I'd like to ask. So, from your clients that had transitioned to something more manual, like picking up checks, going to a bank and everything, to transitioning to something like Dragon Pay for digital payments, where it's all contactless, what was the feedback? How was the feedback for them, for their customers? Did they tell you, or what were you hearing? Dick?
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah.
thought I thought the question was addressed to Louis.
Yeah, but because Louis mentioned payments and you're the expert in terms of payments here, I would say.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a significant shift in the way people pay. Dragon Pay started like 10 years ago. When we were starting, I would say about 40% of our payments were actually happening at the branch level. So these were branch banking, over-the-counter transactions at the bank. Today, or I don't know if it's just because it's in the quarantine period, branch banking accounts for only about maybe 3 to 4% at most of our total transactions. And about maybe 70% of it is now digital, whether it be digital mobile like GCash or GrabPay or online banking. But I would say about almost 70% of the payments that we're seeing right now are already digital in nature.
Actually, it's pretty good. I've been hearing actually some clients, they would say that they've had these manual processes for a while already, and they've had a tough time in asking their customers to change to digital. But because of what happened, it was a great push for them to move things digitally. Um, Wait, I've been coordinating with the team, and I think we lost Russell. So I'm pretty sorry about that. But so I'll just direct the questions now to the one still present, so to you three. If you could give one advice to businesses right now who are struggling or are planning to change or adapt to digital, uh, where do you think that they should start? And what's one advice that you would give them in terms of coordinating with both internally, their own processes, and also their customers moving forward? So maybe we can start with Louis, especially since you are, I really like how you are running your business from Batangas, and that really says a lot to me.
I just want to make sure I got your question right. What advice will I give to people who would like to go digital? Is that correct?
Yeah. What advice, where should they start? Really, what can you let them know as they transition to this new normal per se?
You know, one of the things that I have learned is that whenever I want to do something new, there's one place I go to. That's the internet. I am able to accomplish so many things just by going to the internet. My daughter, for example, wanted to have me do a slime. So I went to the internet and I learned how to make slime. So what am I advising to those who want to try it? Well, first of all, you really wouldn't know where to start, where to begin. So the first thing really would be research. And that's what I do. I do a lot of research. So I go to the internet and I do a lot of research on, okay, what does it take to go digital? The first thing, and this is one of the things that I did also, is that when I was considering UnionBank, I compared it to the other banks that I've been working with, and I did a matrix, and a matrix, where I could see at one glance what one and each company can do side by side. And I guess you know now who came out ahead. But that's how I do things. And that's how I also suggest others. Explore. Don't just stick to one. Explore. See what all the different products that are being offered. And then to me, what has helped me is that because I do a lot of research, I often end up using the best product. Not because it's expensive. No, I'm cost sensitive. It's just that I do a lot of research, and that research has helped me compare and choose the best product. So I would advise those who would like to go digital. Well, I'm assuming now a lot of people are into Facebook, so they know how to research. My suggestion is research, find the best product, identify what your objectives are. After you've identified your objectives, find the right tool that will allow you to meet your objectives. And for the banking, in my case, one of the things that's really important is ease of use. And that's the one thing, and I'll have to say it really, that Union Bank, it is so easy. In fact, people were surprised. I think even some Union Bank people were surprised. What I did was that instead of Union Bank doing a demo of their corporate portal, what I did was I said, okay, I studied this a few days. Can I show you so that you can see it from a customer's point of view, how we see your portal? And that's exactly what I did. I had my people, we were all in Zoom. So I then demonstrated from what I knew. And then I had someone from Union Bank to be right there beside me, so that in case I'm wrong, she can always tell me what wrong thing I did. No? So that's the other thing that really has helped me. And so that's the advice that I give to people who would like to try it. Just try it. Don't be afraid. You have nothing to lose.
Great advice, Sir Louis. And Leia is smiling from ear to ear with what Louis just said.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Sir Louis. It's very fulfilling on our end to hear customer feedback and that you're very happy and content. So at Union Bank, we're very open to co-creation. So if ever clients have feedback on how we can improve the system better, we're always open to hearing them. So just to answer your question, so for me, my advice is very similar to what Sir Louis has shared. So it's when you see a banking solution fit for you, just try it out. So there won't be any loss on your end. Just explore, try different banking platforms. If you don't like it, you can always close or stop using the facility. Or you can also share your feedback with the bank, because that way you can co-create and make the experience even better for yourself and for the other customers. So having a hands-on experience and feeling the convenience firsthand versus hearing it from other clients, those are very two different things. So feeling it firsthand, it's the best way to convince yourself that you found the best banking solution fit for you.
Thanks, Leia. Dick?
Well, I'll actually pick up from Louis' last statement. He said that if you don't try it now, if you don't try it, you have nothing to lose. So I'll twist the statement a bit. I would say that if you don't try it now, you have everything to lose. If you don't try to adjust to the new normal, going digital, bringing your business online, you will have everything to lose. So so there's no better time to try e-commerce than now. There's a lot of very simple tools out there, ranging from, of course, Union Bank's global linker to all the way to just opening a Shopify store, and you get really, really nice websites, and the whole shopping cart, the whole experience is there already, and the cost is very minimal compared to physically putting up a store actually. So there is no better time to experiment on things than now. A lot of the businesses that we've seen are traditional businesses that have been around for a long time. Some of the restaurants that we're talking to have been around for decades. And I guess when the times were good, there was really no compelling reason for them to change or to try new things. They would always argue, people are happy, they prefer going to our restaurants, they like the ambiance or whatever reason. But now that things have changed, they really have to adjust. And again, no better time to do it than now. And they have everything to lose unless they try it.
I love that statement that you have everything to lose if you don't try it or learn new things, like what Sir Louis was saying. So really amazing tips from you guys. So uh, actually, I could ask my own questions, but we're running short of time. We have one more actually from the audience, and then probably we can close right after. So the question is, what do you say to those who still have reservations on the use of fintech, digital, or any banking that's any digital banking because of security concerns? What do you say to them, and how can they move with it? So let me know who wants to answer that. So it's fintech services like DragonPay or digital banking like what we have in the portal.
Maybe I could go first. So for the portal, as I showed earlier, we have the top-notch security features. So we have multi-factor authentication. We can do it via biometrics if they don't want to use SMS OTPs because they're scared that their phone might get stolen or something. So we have options very flexible to the clients. So it doesn't compromise on usability. So we make our security features, security methods that best meets their businesses. So we also have approval set as shown earlier. We can make it as complex as possible. So if ever the clients have a specific approval or authorization process before a transaction gets processed, they can set it up on portal. So that way, they're ensured that no transactions will be made online without them approving it or authorizing it. So we have emails, push notifications of successful transactions so that all the approvers, authorizers, and all the users in the organization are notified whenever a transaction is made on their organization.
Thanks for that, Leia. Anything to add there, Dick? Or
yeah, I agree that there's a lot more security features actually when it comes to digital banking than there is with old way of doing things. While I mentioned the bulk of our transactions right now are more B2C, we have seen also an interest in B2B. But for us, the challenge always when it comes to B2B seems to be, weaning people away from checks. And this is what I can't figure out. The need to sign a check and have a counter signature in there, two signatories or something, seems to be so ingrained with some corporation that it's very difficult for them to move out. But in reality, as Leia mentioned during the presentation, the portal actually has a very, very flexible authorization system that can allow multiple parties to sign and even set signing limits. So DragonPay itself, we're also a very heavy portal user, and I can attest that we have makers and approvers with different levels of authorization, which I think is much better, or at least exceeds the security of a check, which honestly, somebody who can copy someone else's signature can just as easily sign the check, and there's less proofs that it hasn't been tampered with. And yes, I'm also a user of UnionBank's portal mobile version, and it does support biometrics, as Leia mentioned. So you can even log in and authenticate with your fingerprint other than just the SMS as well as the password.
thanks for that, Dick. I agree totally, especially on the checks part. That really makes a lot of sense. It's so easy to just forge a signature, just copy it and superimpose it, I would say. Louis, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, in my case, I think it's really how I do things also. Because a lot of people ask me, why do you pay things online? Why do you do banking online? Are you not afraid? Are you not? So, I tell them, well, one of the things that I do is I take precautions. I think the biggest precaution that I have taken is to use a password manager. And I really encourage people to use a password manager. See, in my case, my password manager, I only remember one password. And that's the password to enter my password manager. And then for each site that I go to, I have unique passwords. Now tell me, for as long as my my password manager will not be hacked, I'll be okay. Really, I think that's the safest thing. And it's so simple. When I go online, when there's already one that's asking for username and password, I just click my password manager, and then I enter my credentials, and then it automatically puts there the username and password. I can even set it up that every 2 or 3 months, it will automatically change the password for certain sites. So that's one. Number two is, I think I really have to have a good virus manager. And that's one of the things that I always make sure that I have an updated database for the virus manager that I use. And that has protected me many times, because sometimes I go to a site and I find out that the site is not really a authentic site. So it has saved me a lot of time. So to me, yes, there are risks involved, but you can mitigate risks. And it's all about how you do things. I mean, when you go out of the house, somebody can rob you. It's as simple as that. But if when you go out of your house, instead of putting your wallet at the back, you put it somewhere else, there are less chances of getting robbed. Now, I'm not saying I'm doing that, but just say that you have to take steps. And those steps are the ones that will protect you. And again, I research. So I research for the best password manager. I research for the best virus protection. So these are the things that have helped me. So for those who are afraid, my first suggestion, get a good password manager. I'm not even going to tell you what mine is, but get a good one, and that alone will be protection. What's important is that you only remember one password, and that password gives you access to all your sites, and each site will have unique usernames and passwords.
Amazing advice, Sir Louis. Actually, I'm gonna tell that to my dad, who always asks me why I pay online and it's risky or blah blah blah, and I'll show him what you just said. So it's past 3. We went a little bit over time, but I really enjoyed the time with the panel right now, and thank you for your awesome answers. Thank you for the audience who attended, and we hope you found this really helpful, like how I found it helpful, and for how the rest of the team has found it helpful. If you have questions that you want to ask after to Union Bank or any of our panelists, just reach out to your respective relationship manager, or you can email the email being flashed right now on your screens, which is fbgsales@unionbankph.com, and we'll answer to the best of our ability. So with that, to the panelists, thank you again. We really appreciate your time. For our audience, thank you. And we hope you have a great afternoon moving forward. Thanks, everyone, and bye-bye.